Hey guys, this is Killrob speaking, and in today's little dev update we have 3 topics to discuss, and that would be V12s are finally fully finished, then we have the new suspension type, Pushrod suspensions for super and hypercars, and then the final topic will be about the open beta and what there's left to do. Alright, let's get right into it with topic number 1. So many pistons, so many conrods, and so many valves, and they are all positioned now and should be aligned. And what took a while also is all the fuel systems, and there are quite a few options in here, as you can see, like 6 carburetors on a single engine, all the scoops. And that takes a while, but no, also the sounds should be quite okay, at least. So let's have a listen. This is probably the highest output engine you could build, like per liter output engine you could build in modern times, and we are out of 2.4 liter getting 300 kilowatts of power. That is pretty insane. That's 400 horsepower, naturally aspirated. Turbos, as I've mentioned in previous updates, will not be in this big update for the V12s. But if you have a V12, why do you need a turbo, right? So let's have a little listen, shall we? Yeah, that sounds better than last time. There was a bit of trickery going on there, but what I especially like is like the low to mid-range response of it. The high-end sound is not quite as visceral as the V6 one we got, but I think that works out quite nicely. After a long wait, Pushrod suspensions have arrived in the game, and now they will be available for mid-engine stuff. And, well, also if you place your engine at the rear, probably you can have Pushrod suspension at the front. But as you can see now, here we do have this new suspension type. And they are not quite finished yet, but just need a bit more polishing. And as you can see, they're pretty complex. In the game they are handled as if they have the same complexity as multi-link suspensions, which you can see makes sense with this kind of setup. And they have very nice low profile, which is why they are used in hypercars. You don't need those big buckets at the side here. Anyway, this is also very space limiting, as you would imagine. So it's really just a thing you wouldn't have to put into your mid-engine stuff, because if you have a rear engine, this will basically bar all the space for the rear. As we can see here, there's really not that much room for the engine to go then, while mid-engine doesn't really suffer from it. Anyway, these have very good stats for sporty applications. Sportiness very high as compared to the high value here for the double wishbones, and are in general just very specialized, difficult to manufacture, and limited production type, right? So I'm going to just build a finished car with those, and let's see how it performs. So I just did a quick build of a super/hypercar, as you can see here, and not too much optimization or anything, but I chose the Pushrod suspension type, and now let's see. These stats are now compared to 2 times double wishbone as a choice for front and rear, and you can see that it is indeed increasing drivability and sportiness for such a car. but at the expense of quite some engineering time, and this is colored in the wrong direction, obviously. So yeah, that is exactly what it is supposed to be, and now the spectrum of suspension choice is finished towards the high end, and we are going to, of course, look into making some off-road suspension type solid axle front. But that is further in the future and definitely not coming in this big update. Alright, let's talk about topic number 3. If you remember the little dev update with the project overview for this subproject, which was, I think, on the 2nd of October or something, almost 2 months ago, like 1 more week to go, or 1.5 more weeks to go until it's 2 months. And in that one we said all the kinds of things we did want to do, and we are mainly finished with everything. There are a lot of little polishing things left to do, but nothing that should stop us from getting into open beta phase very quickly, and that should happen at the end of next week. So in about 5 to 6 days time. And very much looking forward to that, getting this update out to you guys. But there are a few more things we want to add, and among the things left to do are including new track calculations. And some of you, especially those forum members who have been more active, will know about the Bavarian Racing Challenge. And we are going to include Martin's calculations in the game. It doesn't mean that you can race your cars against each other, but it does mean that we get much more realistic track behavior for the cars. And also you might remember that we have revamped the tire model, which results in much lower Gs you can pull in the corners for normal cars. So if a normal car gets up to 1 G, that is pretty good. And before it was more like 1.15 G or something, 15% too much grip in the lateral direction. This is now fixed, but it does mean that the track times are really slow. So in order to get the track times up to speed again, we need more competent calculations for the tracks. And that is what Martin has provided with the BRC. And we are currently working with him on implementing those changes so that we can have realistic grips and realistic track times on top of that. Also, we want to add some tooltips for the engineering times. Those are still not in, and we are still working on some scenario rebalancing. For example, the general scenarios, general engine designer scenarios, are now opened up for V12s, and all the car tutorials and car scenarios have been rebalanced, as we have changed so many balance things. What we didn't get around to is rebalancing the old engine designer scenarios, but that will be done once we have the updated engine designer calculations in the game too. So it will be worth replaying the general scenarios and all the car scenarios. They will definitely be less exploity and more interesting. Alright, that should do. So about 1 week to go until you can get your hands on this, and hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time.